What's going on, guys? It's Crystal once again, and I just wanted to share a quick encouraging word once again. But this time, I want to gear it to people where I used to be, and that's those in their 20s, and even people though, even little even people in their teens too as well. I just want to share encouragement just with wisdom that God has given me and shown me. In our 20s, those are the times of our years where I call it the foundational years of our life. Years where we kind of just grow as people, come to know ourselves and, know who we are, know who others are. And then it's the time where we gain life experience. And because we don't have experience already to draw from, I'm talking about real grown up experience. Sometimes we can, there's where the mistakes come in because we're trying to like grow and, become, you know, better people and discover who we truly are and stuff. So I just want to let you know, like, don't beat yourself up or put yourself down because, oh, I wish I knew this or, you don't know. The only experience you pretty much have is, when you're a child and a teenager. And for some who were children and teenagers, they had to grow up much faster because they had, certain, catastrophic and, tough circumstances that they had to go through and fight through, growing up. So some people grow up faster than others. Some are more like myself, growing up sheltered, more sheltered. And so, you kind of then learn, different little things until you experience, being on the job with people and experience other people, personality types, and, you know, all that kind of sort of thing. So if you're in your 20s, just don't, beat yourself up because, like I said, the 20s are the foundational years of your life. That's why some people, go to college too to try to, find out who they are academically, educational wise, and get, get that degree and stuff. And it comes different for everybody and things like that. Like for me, I was in my when I was in my 20s, I wasn't, all that perfect. I'm only 30, y'all. I'm just 30, okay? But yeah, when I was in my 20s, I've learned too, just, how to stand up for myself, how to be strong and confident and strong will within myself, and most importantly, how to love myself. Now, even though I've been saved since I was, 12 and followed God since I was like 17 in a serious way, I still had time. Yes, I still needed to like grow in some ways because the older you get, the more you start to see and have more emotional maturity about things and relationships and people, and you kind of realize you're like, okay, I know what this kind of person is like because the last thing you want to do is play that whole same script, different cast thing, which means it's the same kind of situation, but it's with a different person. You broke it off with one person and then you're on to somebody else, and whether it be a relationship, a friendship, the last thing you want to do is repeat yourself. Don't be a repeat offender against your own self. You too good for that. So yeah, that's definitely, you just learn so many ways, socially, financially, emotionally, mentally. You just start to grow. That's why they even say scientifically that your brain isn't finished growing until you're about 25. They say, I used to say 23, 24, but I was like, more like 25. That's when you're like, you start thinking a little bit differently. And it's like, whoa, I don't, I'm like, you start to wake up about some stuff. And that's when, sometimes people that's like real older than you, that they're attracted to you, they'll either, if they're in it for the wrong reasons, they'll either get away from you because they realize that you're starting to grow up and, think differently about stuff. And, or you might even, yeah, it just comes differently for all of us. But, if you're in your 20s and you feel like, oh man, I feel so foolish about stuff and I don't know, this and don't worry about it. Like, don't beat yourself up. I've been there myself, being at a, job for like, years and stuff like that. I've learned people and I've learned ways and how to deal with people and, how to stand up for myself. So don't worry. Your 20s are the foundational years of your life. It's kind of like, building, a house or building a foundation. And you put one thing over top of the other and you just kind of are building. So that's what your 20s are for. They're the years of your life where you just kind of grow. And now, for me personally, at 30, after I made, not so much mistakes, but like still, when you're like in your 20s and young, it's just a little bit of ignorance there because you don't have that experience to draw from. Not always. Some people grow up faster than others, but for me at 30, I feel, good about myself, like emotionally. Because I always say, and I'm just at the beginning of, my 30s. 30 is like the time where you're supposed to start, that's when stability should be coming in, financially, emotionally, mentally, if you can help it. And, just in other ways, relationally, when you get to be 30 and in your 30s, you just don't have time for like wasting time and foolishness. You just like, you know what? If this friendship's not going to last, there's no sense in me even starting it or entertaining it. If this relationship with this person is not going to last, then there's no sense in even starting it because you have experience to draw from because you made your mistakes and you had your eyes open. You realized in your 20s, I'm like, okay, I know what kind of person this is. And in your 30s, you're not really looking to repeat the same things. If you are self-aware and you're open to the fact, I was like, wait a minute. If you're open to being different and better, then you won't have the same, types of relationships and, situations or even jobs that have, put you in a low place and, made you feel some kind of way about yourself. If you, are growing and constantly evolving, you know, emotionally and spiritually, especially when you have Christ on your side. And that's why I didn't make, as nearly as many, mistakes as I could have even in my 20s. God was keeping me, he kept me, and I just give him all the glory and praise for that. But yeah, your 30s, those are what I call like the years of your life where stability should be setting in and coming in, whereas you start to think differently. You want stability and security. When you get into a relationship, you're thinking about trying to marry somebody and get married so that, you can have a baby or, just be, solid with somebody. It's the years where you're trying to build a solid rock, not only in Christ, but in your life. And then for those of us that say, when you get into your late 20s, you just start to think differently, even about your relationship with God and the praise and the worship, and with your love for him goes even more deeper because you know what? You've been through a couple things and God done brought you through, and you got a taste of his grace, a taste of his mercy. In fact, more than a taste, several tastes of his grace and his mercy. And so you have that not only life experience, but that also spiritual experience as well, too, with God. And that's why that praise and that worship goes a lot more deeper. And it's just like, whoa, Jesus, I really thank you for getting me through that. And, that kind of thing. So, yeah, that's definitely a shift. Personally, with me, I really started to experience a shift just with my own self at 28, like 2 years ago and stuff. And it's not just because it was just the pandemic. It was just my own journey through life. 28, I just felt differently, feeling good enough to speak, up for myself just a little bit more and not always feel like I have to play the nice game and let me just be nice and, but also, say what I feel and, want. And that's still a struggle for me even to this day, But I have moments where I do it and then moments where I don't too. Because, I like to preserve other people's feelings, but in turn that has hurt me in the past too, and I'm kind of want to like get away from that, and that's something I want to continually work on as well, too. But 28, I felt, different, and it just felt great. 28, it was great. I got back into poetry. I remember on this day, today's August 13th, 2 years ago in 2020, God spoke to me. I was sitting up there. I was just playing a video game I was just playing a game one night, video game, and just dozing off in my thoughts. And God just spoke to me. He was like, "You need to find your voice. You need to find your voice again with poetry." And he took me back to when I was 14 years old, and I won a poetry slam contest. Came in second place, but I heard the roar of the crowd, and people were celebrating. They were saying, "I want a copy of that poem." Oh my gosh, that was the greatest feeling. And and it was just like, wow, that was a good time, a good day, Lord. And so, I've been back with that. And if you, subscribe to the YouTube channel, simply my name, Crystal McLeod, you'll see a whole bunch of poems that I've put on and stuff. I love poetry, always did. ever since I was a teenager. Wrote my first poem at 13. You know, I write, even to this day, I'll just be on my phone and God will give me an idea or a topic to talk about, and I'll just write on it and then come down here in this basement, record it and stuff, and then that's what you see on YouTube. And then 29 last year was definitely such a blessing for me. I call my 25 25. Oh, I said 25? No, I've said 29. 29 was 25 for me because you know what? At 29, I got out of a job and stuff. You know, some things had happened and not I'm not definitely, speaking of bad, but it was just time to go. It was time for me to just grow. I just, grown out and away from that, the place where I was like working at, and so God just changed it and shifted for me and gave me another good job, a good, you know, just such a blessing, a lot more peace. I just appreciate what God did for me just with that. That was a shift like you don't know how. It was just the best thing, and I'm so thankful to the Lord for that too. A new job that I'm still at now for like the past year. I'm so glad for it and grateful. So yeah, and then at 30, it just feels good because I feel like a grown woman now. Like I should. I feel like an adult, and I started to feel that 2 years ago. God was having me to feel that even at 28, like 2 years ago. I mean, I know I was always grown. You're over 21 and stuff, but it's a difference between being grown and then actually feeling that, adult like feeling. I just feel like that now. And at 30 I should, you know, it's just been a blessing and stuff, you know, changed up some clothes that I was wearing, and then that feels good too. And oh, gotta tell you a testimony too. It's something small. It may not mean much to you, but it means a lot to me. Being able to get dresses. Like, I was at Kohl's one day, like, about 4 months ago, and then I was just looking through, and then I saw these dresses, and I was like, whoa, these are some nice dresses. And so I seen them, took some, tried them on, and I was like, these are a good fit. They're modest. They're not, showing. Because let me tell you something. I hadn't worn a dress for years. Like, when I would go to church, it would just be skirts, and I would have to pair a top with it, and that's okay, but sometimes, you wake up, and it's like, oh, man, what shirt do I want to wear with this, with shoes and all that. With a skirt, you have to, like, pair it and stuff. But, it just feels good. I've been wanting a dress for the longest. Like, I can't remember the last time I wore a dress, an actual, like, dress, just throw over myself. And I just thank the Lord for that, getting me into that again. Because it's like, I love dresses because I know I got this hoodie on and I'm comfortable and, all cozy. But I also love, just wearing a dress to church. It just makes me feel so feminine and lovely and beautiful, feminine. I just love it. I love wearing dresses and things like that. And I'm sure y'all have seen some pictures that I posted on Facebook and Instagram. But I thank God for that. I have 8 dresses now, like 8 summer ones. And now I'm just on a kick. Now I just want to get some more dresses. Like, I'll be looking on Amazon sometimes. I ordered one this week and it came in, and that was nice. One little dress for the fall. And I'm looking forward to getting some more. But Lord knows I need some closet space. Yeah, I need closet space. What to do when you have a little closet. I'll be thinking of all kinds of ideas on how I can, like, okay, let me move this out, and fall clothes is gonna be, because fall will be coming up next month, so I'll be like, yeah. But I just thank the Lord just even for getting me, some dresses. I thank the Lord just how my relationship with Him just causes me to evolve not only spiritually but also naturally, and just grow into the person and the woman that God, is calling for, little by little. You might as well, in your single time like myself, you know, work it to the maximum, work it to the best of your ability. Keep becoming your best person so that when that person comes, you'll be your best self. You'll feel so good and stuff. Even though I could have probably gotten married in my 20s and all of that if I, ran into the right person, I think it's good that, whenever God, would have me to marry and stuff, it'd be better like now and up so that, when that person does come, I feel good enough and love myself enough and know more about myself, and am comfortable with myself enough that I can invite somebody else along for the ride, and get to know them, love them, and be comfortable with them, and then just grow with them and grow old till the gray hairs come in, for the rest of my life with them. Yeah. So I just wanted to share that. I just thank God for my growth, and just letting if you're in your 20s and stuff. Hey, I made mistakes. I wasn't always didn't always feel my best, because for me it's always been like self-esteem, that I always got. I never had a problem with the way I looked and all of that, body wise and my face. I don't have body dysmorphia or body image problems or issues. My thing from a young girl on up has always been self-esteem and how I felt about myself. Not always being confident, not always walking confident and stuff. I remember mom would be like, when you walk into a room, walk with your shoulders back. Be confident. Yeah. And I'm not even sure if I even walk with my shoulders, back when I go into a room. Not always, but you know what? I feel different. I feel better and good about myself, and I love myself more now than I you know, ever did. Like, I just love the person that I am. I love who Crystalline is now, because there was a time where I didn't. Time where I had such hard time accepting myself for me. But I love myself. I'm a nerd. I'm a quirky person. You'll always see me smiling and laughing for no reason or any reason at all. I love to smile. I like people and I love people. It doesn't matter if you hate him, don't like me, or, you have a little bit of whatever, with me, I'm going to love you, because you know what, at the end of the day, you know, how I feel about me is what counts, and how God feels about me is what counts. And, just basking in his love. And that's another thing that I've, done too, getting more into the presence of God and seeking him. And when you do that, that always makes your life better. He not only changes you spiritually, but he'll also, help you in the natural as well, too. Just feeling good and better about myself. It's just the greatest feeling. And you can have that, too. And you don't even have to wait till you're, like, you don't have to wait till you're 28 like I did. And, wait till you, like, I'm 30 and all of that. You could do that now. But just be accepting of yourself, you know, flaws and all. I've had to learn too. Accept yourself, flaws and all. Don't beat yourself up. Don't put yourself down. And then again, don't do that to other people either. Don't, try to look at them and be like, oh, what's wrong with you? So, and, thinking that you're better than them. Remember, you're no better than nobody else, and nobody else is better than you. So just have a balanced mindset when it comes to yourself, your self-esteem, your image, what you think and how you feel about yourself. You gotta love yourself, and, look at yourself in the mirror and embrace every part of you. From stretch marks on down, I don't care what it is. Just love you. And it doesn't matter, what size you are, where you come from, your background. The greatest thing in your life is that you can give yourself is learning to love you for who you are, good, bad, and ugly. And one of the things I also had to realize is, I don't have to worry about trying to fix everything that's wrong with me. Back in my younger days, when I was told something was wrong with me, or when somebody, made a complaint about certain, that I did or, didn't do or wasn't doing, I felt like, oh man, I got to jump on this and fix it. And that would cause so much anxiety and stress with me. And it's like, oh my goodness. And I was putting so much pressure on myself, because anybody that knows me personally knows that I kind of have a tendency to beat myself up. And I'm slowly getting away from that too. And I'm like, you know what? If I'm not going to beat up on myself, I'm not going to allow nobody else to do it either. And sometimes people, they do it emotionally. And they say little things to try to, like, get you down. But you don't let that, don't let that get to you. And I really had to, like, work on not letting that get to me either, because words, they can affect me and they get to me, because my love language is words of affirmation. And so, affirming words, definitely get to me, and non-affirming words also can get to me too. So I'm asking God, and y'all pray for me that, I learn how to, shake some more stuff off. 'Cause sometimes, I'll just be sitting and thinking, and something that somebody said that was stupid will come to my head, and it's like I have to like, ooh, shake it off. Like Jesus told the disciples, shake the dust off your feet. So yeah, you know, words, that's my love language. I love words. I love to write words, as y'all can see with the poetry. I love the word of God. Words. I'm just a words person and stuff. I could do basic math, but math was never something deep that I was like, but no words. Like, even in school, I've always loved English, or as they called it, communication arts. In school, I've always loved, like, that kind of thing. Words, expression, yeah, that kind of thing. Because I'm more on the emotional end of things, with myself and all of, and things in life. Heartfelt stuff. I'm about that heartfelt stuff. But yeah, if you're in your 20s, be encouraged, make mistakes, but also know too that you don't have to try and do everything, especially when you know it's like wrong or it's not going to be good for you. I heard a good line in Sister Act 2. The sister said, you don't always have to bite the donut to know it's sweet. Yeah, you know the donut's sweet. You don't have to bite it. You don't have to get into that experience and feel like, oh, let me just try it for my own self. No, like, you kind of already know from other people's experience, and this one and that one, and it had a bad taste in their mouth, and it's going to put a bad taste in your mouth. So you don't have to try everything. You don't have to try drugs, and you don't have to do all alcohol, especially if you are a Christ follower and you're a young Christian. you know you don't have to get into all of these kind of things. you know you don't have to bite the lemon to know that it's sour. You don't have to bite the donut to know it's sweet. So, you're already going to have enough of your own mistakes and experiences to go through and learn from. So don't complicate your life and get into things that you know is not going to be good or healthy or wholesome for your life. Because if you care about yourself, you want the best for yourself. You want things that's going to nurture you. You're going to want truth spoken in love and all of that kind of thing. So just do the best you can just to be your whole self. And like I said in this video, your 20s are the foundational years of your life. They're the years of your life in which you build your foundation, the foundation of who you are, what it is that you believe, what you believe in, the causes that you fight for, and, who you are. So just grow into that. You don't have to make every mistake. But, just learn from your own mistakes, and don't be afraid to look at others' mistakes. And instead of laughing at them or making fun of them or judging them, learn from them. After, when you pray for them, also, learn from their situations or the mistakes that they made as well. And then when you get into your 30s and you're like, my age, whereas I'm just 30, you'll learn that you just want more stability and security. You want secure and stable friendships, secure and stable jobs, secure and stable relationships that will lead to marriage, relationship that will lead to marriage. So just that kind of thing, just a food for thought. Your 20s are the foundational years of your life, and your 30s is where you're kind of starting to look more for stability, and you're a little bit more serious about your relationship with God and other things. Not to say that you can't be this way in your 20s, but, most predominantly, we're learning ourselves in our 20s, and that's something that none of us should beat ourselves up for. So be encouraged, learn and grow every day, and if you grow in God, you'll grow a lot more faster, but you got to grow in God. Don't just, go to church, but grow in, Christ and your relationship with Him, and you'll grow every day. All right, little brothers and sisters, and big brothers and sisters, medium-sized brothers and sisters in Christ, and everybody, I love you. Be encouraged, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.